for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Debbie, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. We have quorum. Row officer reports and comments. Looking at it, I'm not seeing any representatives of row officers, although Perry's lurking out in the hallway right now. Public comments. Any member of the public wishing to comment that's here? All right, if anybody is watching virtually and wishes to submit public comment, you can submit to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. That's mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov, and it will be entered into the record as such. Please include the title line public comment. Fiscal and contractual. We are advertising right now Lawrence Mercer Recycling Solid Waste Department, 2004 Mack truck and 41 6-cubic yard dumpsters, serviceable by a front loader. Deadline is October 4, 2021 at 3 p.m. To submit any bids for those supplies. Again, that's a 2004 Mack truck and 41 6-cubic yard dumpsters, serviceable by a front loader. Again, deadline October 4th, 2021 at 3 p.m. For anybody wishing to purchase those. No receipt of bids are present, no fiscal reports, no report on quotes, no warrant registers. Approval of the minutes from Tuesday, August 24, 2021. I give my closing minute, check those out, take motion to approve.
I noticed in there that Dan was in a devilish mood last
That's what
week.
it says, yeah.
Someone's having fun.
Vanessa was in a devilish mood as well.
It's the official part of county record.
50 years from now, somebody's gonna read that.
I wonder if there was a hidden meaning to that. I will move to accept the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion here? No question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no presentation of written communications. Staff reports. Any member of staff here? We got one member. Chris, you have any reports?
I do not.
Okay, one make sure.
Thank you.
Commissioner reports and comments. I have nothing today, Loretta.
Nothing here either, sir.
Dan?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna ask a trivia question, real quick. I know you wanna move this meeting along, but it's a trivia question, and the successful answer, first person answers gets a $2 bill.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's the question. Lawrence County has 16 townships, as we all know. Which 2 townships are named in honor of former presidents? If you can name both townships.
Well, Washington is one.
Got it? I feel like playing Jeopardy music.
I know. Put that map when you need it.
Yeah, the second one's a little more challenging.
It's not SMPJ.
Pull that out. It's a township.
It's not Scott, is it?
I don't know why one keeps thinking
Hickory.
Perry.
No,
See,
a president.
Okay, well,
I know, right.
Wayne.
No,
It's not one of the Beavers.
you're right. It's not one of the Beavers. You're slowly eliminating a lot.
I know, that's, yeah.
I know it's not Plain Grove.
That's correct.
Not Pulaski.
He was a general.
Yeah, that's,
Revolutionary.
yeah.
But not a president.
I didn't know if we were going back to like Articles of Confederation days. I didn't know if there was a Pulaski back then. Not Wellington.
No.
No, not County. Perry.
No,
Mm-mm.
that was, I think, Admiral Perry, but he wasn't.
Commodore.
Hmm?
Commodore Perry.
If
That's right,
it's,
Commodore Perry.
if it's Slippery Rock, I swear to God.
No. No. Keep thinking.
Taylor.
Bingo.
Ah.
Zachary Taylor.
I'll take that $2.
$2 bill. Congratulations.
I can't believe I was going around the edges.
I was too.
I wasn't thinking the middle.
But I went south, I started with Mahoning Town, and I'm like, okay, what else, what's around Mahoning Town? It wasn't any of the Beavers or Wayne Elwood, Elkhorn, I'm like, Taylor,
Zachary Taylor.
yes.
Forgotten something.
Thank you, Dan. You didn't have to give me
Congratulations. No,
$2.
you won.
Yes, I did.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Interesting thing about Taylor Township, by the way, Lawrence County in southwest Pennsylvania, I was just at SPC yesterday. Lawrence County in southwest Pennsylvania region is the only county which has good air quality.
Right.
Taylor Township, I think largely because of the power plant that was there, is the only township that's on a, I don't want to call it a watch list, but it's a watch list for poor air quality.
Yeah.
Steve Craig used to, that's been true for quite a while. Remember, Steve
Wow.
Craig used to point that out. Yeah, and so it's still the case.
It's still the case. It's still
Because
using
of
still.
Core,
No, the power plant.
power plant.
But if you look at a map, they have maps of where the air quality is good, where the air quality is bad, where they're watching air quality. And Lawrence County is white, except for Taylor Township. But every other county, every township, and every other county in southwest Pennsylvania has an air quality watch. We're the only ones in southwest that don't.
Now, I have a trivia question, Dan, and you're
Alright.
probably, I don't know, maybe Deb, you could as well answer, or anyone really. Speaking of Taylor Township, why is there that little spot off of Moravia, or not Moravia Street,
Atlantic Avenue.
Atlantic Avenue, that is Taylor Township?
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
That is craziness.
The only thing I can think is that way back, when Taylor Township was formed, Mahoning Town didn't exist at that point.
Okay.
That was all Taylor Township, and it ran up to that line now where it meets Union Township.
Okay,
Mahoning Town was actually a borough at one time. It was formed as in the 1800s, late 1800s. It was the borough of Mahoning Town. Then the city of Newcastle annexed the borough of Mahoning Town. It became the 7th Ward. And it's funny because you and I were looking at a map earlier.
yeah,
today.
yes,
There's that little rectangular section between the city and Union Township, that's probably a 1/10 of a mile.
Yeah.
And then there's that little tiny spot down by the Beaver River outside of Mahoning Town. For some reason, those two sections
Yes.
remain part of Taylor Township. Why? I don't know.
okay.
I don't know.
I figured you would know, okay.
I don't think that's legal to do anymore. I think if you annex, it has to be, you can't just leave a part of it, you can't
Yeah.
split township.
Yeah, I wonder why,
and that's-
that's
I think back in the day, and interestingly enough, for a legislative district standpoint, because I think under state law, the
Yes,
legislative
that's-
districts have to be contiguous.
They do.
Yes, I looked
However,
at that.
however, and they ignore it, I don't know if they're breaking the law or ignoring it or whatever, but Aaron Bernstein's district, he has those two speckled dots, which
Yes.
are located right in the middle of Chris Sonata's district.
Mhm. I wonder if this,
Being
The-
Taylor
the-
Township.
Township.
Yes, you're right.
wonder if it was like a, I don't know, I digress, I'm sure, but if it was like a family situation, like if it was all Taylor along there, maybe like a family member
Could very
that
well.
originated in Taylor Township, like they wanted to say, we still want to be part of Taylor Township,
That could very
annex
well be.
everything else but that, so we're still,
Yeah,
You have the same situation with Wayne Township. That section off of 488 in the village of Burnstown. You're coming out of Elwood and heading towards Elport. You leave Elwood
Yeah.
City Borough, you go through a little chunk of Wayne Township,
yeah,
then you go into Elport Borough. There's that little section because Elport Borough was formed in the 1920s.
okay.
Prior to that, what we now know as Elport was part of Wayne Township. But again, they left that chunk, that little village of
Yes,
Burnstown
yeah.
is still part of Wayne Township.
do you think that they take that because that's where the tax revenue is?
Yeah. So, somewhere it's probably written down.
Somewhere.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations
Thank
to
you.
Loretta.
All right.
Moving on to, and this is gonna be a little bit different today, due to the passage of the sunshine, the amendment to the sunshine law, or the sunshine law. What we're gonna be doing from here in the future is we're gonna be basically calling the motion and discussion on, the different items before us, different resolutions before us, as opposed to waiting to the end, amending the agenda and voting on it as a block. We're just going through one by one discussion followed by a motion,
Okay,
or lack thereof.
right.
We don't have to take action on it. And then, and that's just the way that we have to work it from here. But that being said, it's a good test run,
Correct.
because we have one resolution, for discussion possible approval of transfer, T-2021-14. I'm racking my head to try to remember what this is.
Yeah, I don't have the attachment.
Chris, do you have the attachment?
Yes, sorry.
No,
That's okay. Probably very simple.
Ooh, you know what I think it is?
It's a transfer.
It's
a
out of capital.
IT, yeah.
It's out of capital for IT is what it is. It's we're paying for, I think, the generator that we bought.
Yes.
And I'm taking that out of the capital budget as opposed to out of our general fund.
Okay.
Any questions on that one?
No, I don't, but maybe after Loretta sees
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
document.
Here's the document. See.
I think that's fine, sure. Mhm. Okay,
All right, so I'll take a,
so moved.
Do we have a number for this?
Oh,
213.
213.
I'll second Commissioner Spielvogel's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion here? None, question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before you move along, may I just interject?
Sure.
And I appreciate your pointing out that we are now subject to new language in the Sunshine Law, as you pointed out, deals with certain matters involving public meetings. I will note that our solicitor has carefully reviewed the law and has advised us accordingly. Some of the things in that new law we were already doing. For example, making the agenda available to the public when they come in. Copies of that have always been available, but I'm assuming we're posting the agenda online in advance, which is a requirement. So I think we've covered all of our bases. And, but I appreciate your reminding us that we are having to make some adjustments, and we've done so accordingly. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, most of it's pretty easy stuff. And 99, the only thing really that we're changing, because we've been actually going above and beyond what the law requires in terms of we actually give out a full board packet. The law doesn't require us to do that.
The other thing I think we've done traditionally that again goes above and beyond, we have 2 designated public comment periods. And I seem to recall that the law simply states 1 public comment period, although we've been very flexible. If and we've seen examples of it recently where someone will raise their hand in the middle of our meeting and ask a question. And you've been very gracious in allowing that to happen. I always try to allow for it, even though we're not necessarily legally required to.
I figure so. I think you were in the same boat. So long as they're courteous, so long as they don't try to argue with us, so long as it's a general question.
Right.
No harm.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Additional, we have no resolutions on the table. We have no resolutions to be taken off the table. We don't need to amend the agenda to allow for any de minimis actions or any other smaller things that might need to be taken care of. We have no ordinances on the table for introduction or final action. A couple announcements. Next commissioners meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 7th, 2021 at 10 a.m. There will be a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021 at 12 o'clock noon at the Crane Room. I might actually go to that one. That sounds like it might have some good food. There will be a prison board meeting on Wednesday, September 15th, 2021 at 12 o'clock noon. I probably will not be going to that one. And this is the second announcement. There's an opening on the Industrial Development Authority. The process to apply for that is either to send the commissioners a formal note letter stating your interest in the position, or alternatively, you are allowed to come before the board in person if you so desire. And ask that you're interested in that position. Interested individuals will have to undergo a background check. And that concludes today. Any additional public comments?
And I have to apologize. I did think of one other thing that I'd like to just note for the record,
Sure.
And I'll be brief. Last week, Commissioner Spielvogel and I had the opportunity to meet the new librarian at
Yes.
the Newcastle Public Library, Carly Searcy. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. And seems like a very, very nice person. She's replacing Sandra Collins, who had been a librarian for quite some time. Sandra
Yes.
did a very nice job
Yes.
while she held that position. And Carly's already, and I know you guys have had a very busy morning, probably haven't even seen your emails yet, but Carly has already inquired as to the process as the Federated Library Board appointments. And
Placements, yeah.
I've tried to answer as best I can, but I also recommended that when Vanessa Bayless gets back, the two of them get together.
Yeah.
But just wanted to note, they have a new head librarian at the
Nice.
City Newcastle Area Public Library. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
And we are closed Monday,
Oh, that's right.
Yes, yes.
In celebration of,
Labor Day.
That's right.
anything else from anybody? Seeing none, we'll do a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Do we have to vote on adjournment, or can we just adjourn? I think we've traditionally voted.
Because I know like I was at SPC yesterday, and Rich just adjourned it.
We've always voted, but you could ask